Hey, it's Joe Glines from the Automator. Another episode of what we automated this week with AutoHotkey. So let's fire up Prompt Assistant. Go to recently modified files, which of course kicks off a bunch of stuff. If you've been watching these videos, you already know that. But we turn on Do Not Disturb mode. We start my webcam reminder, which is this little thing here, which you can barely see, but for me, it's enormous. Move it up a bit. There we go. Search in there. And let's see what we got here. So there were 69 files found. Okay. This one, the scripts, the stuff we did for AJ, this is the client where we were developing that secondary keyboard for him using any keyboard, right? You can plug it in. Isaiah did a lot of work on it. We got it where we could set it up for him. The goal, of course, is to make it where we can make a distributable program that anybody can just use and not have to have custom help setting it up. But we made good steps in that. The one thing that Isaiah was working on was AJ had gone to New York, and when he came back, it wasn't finding it properly. Then it found it. But I talked to Isaiah. I think he was looking into storing the name of the keyboard, and that way, once you identify it, even if you plug it into a different port or a different order or anything, it will find it and then sync right back to it, so you don't have to worry about that. We have desktops and don't change them very often, but we hadn't considered the client is on a laptop and constantly plugging in different devices and unplugging them and stuff. So we're going to probably get that better for him. Add to Replay Media Catcher. I use a tool called Replay Media Catcher. It extracts videos from like YouTube and other places, and it's really easy. You can drag the URL up top and it will go find it and do other stuff. But it's annoying to have to go when trying to do a bunch of them. So I'm trying to automate going from Chrome to pushing it into there, make it a touch of a button. It will transfer it and download it for me. So I was playing with that this morning. Error catcher. Yeah, so these are just all start menu shortcut. This one, I can actually run it here, and it's going to pop up here. Let me double click it. So this is a script. So this is a menu item. It looks at a folder. Let me see here, open folder. So I can open the folder. This folder, what I do is I drag in shortcuts to programs that I want to have listed in my tool. And then when I run it, so I'll double click it again. Now it should be, well, I wish I could have had that visible, kept that on top. I know I have a hotkey to do that for a given program. I forget what it is. But I don't know if I can do a window snip here. There we go. Now when I reactivate this, you'll see it may not be in the same order, right? I think I alphabetized these. So I should be able to click. I guess it is. Yeah, so there's ExpressVPN. So for some reason it didn't get that icon. It gets a lot of the icons. Some of them it doesn't. But it allows me, instead of having these in my system tray, cluttering up space, for things I don't launch too often, it allows me to have one icon. Well, it's in a weird spot. I guess if I drag it way over to here. So here's my, I have my taskbar on the side still, as forever I've done, right? Move this over a little more. There we go. So this right here is that script. So I can click it, and it takes a second and goes and reads that folder and says, here's what you can launch, right? So, and this JRMCP, it's horribly named, but that is the Replay Media Catcher tool, which I highly recommend. It's a great tool, very robust. I think it's a subscription though, so it's every year. It's like $19. But I use it a lot for capturing videos, and then I'll make Notebook LM videos and stuff out of the things. And, but yeah, so it allows me, instead of cluttering up this, that's why I created it. And it all I do is just drag a new shortcut into this folder, and I'm good to go, right? So it's very easy to. It's basically a dynamic launcher, right? So if you're interested in that script, let me know. I need to have as a close as like a never mind, because right now I don't think I have a way to just say oopsie, it should disappear. Let me click that again. That'll make it open. But usually I never need that. But now that I just did that, I'm sure everything, sometimes there's accidents. Close that guy. Wrapping, care, and changing. So during a hero call, we were automating wrapping characters. This is a cool little tool, which I think maybe we'll make it as a download. So you can put in, when I type this, send that. And also this Control Alt Shift L, Control Alt Shift U, it would change the case of what you have selected, I think, if I remember correctly. So that was during a live hero call. We got onto an idea of, could we, instead of having a hot string that is automatic, set for each case, could we have it where if I hold down a toggle key while I type my hot string, that it actually goes back and changes the case of it? So that was part of why we were doing that. We were also talking about the HK script maker. Let me go ahead and run it. Now this, why would that not be present? I haven't updated my, so this is our editor, AutoHotkey script maker, and this is the paths, and we notice we also have a dev path. So if I want to have like the dev version, which I do, but that's not right. I'm gonna have to show this to her. Look at this, the 219. I don't understand. This definitely should not be the path, because it should be for the dev version. And that I don't think is the right version. But anyway, I'm gonna hit cancel and see what it does. So yeah, I can this is quick blur. I don't know why I had that open, but it's a cool tool. I'll make more video. Oh, this is not my version. That's why. Okay, my bad. This is the version Irfan is using. This one, see how it says Joe? This is my version. So that's why that was incorrect. So we go back here to preferences. Oops, not preferences. Notice here I can change the number of items. We're going to make this up to 50, and I'll explain that here in a second. We have operator tokens because we're going to have an AI capabilities. But the AutoHotkey EXP paths, there we go. So that is looking much better. So these are my paths, and I can choose my default version. Also, when you drag a file in, if it has a requires, it will switch to that version for you, which is cool. But I can also, hey, I want to run this in dev, or I want to run this in V1, which would be horrible because it's a V2 script. But it allows you to do the switch, or you can switch your bitness. Lots of cool functions. Now here, this is my list of previous files, and this is where we're going to change it to 50, even though for me this would go off the screen. But some people have their monitors, up and down, like portrait instead of landscape. So that's why I thought, hey, let's make it allow it to be bigger if people want it to be, and you can always hit more and come in here and search, and it will search across all these, and you can clean the files that no longer exist. You can turn on fuzzy matching. So we're getting there. I asked the guys yesterday if they felt that the tool was ready to be shared. The Hero members have been sharing it and testing it, and thank you, Connie, for all the time you've been putting into it. He's been testing it a lot and identified some interesting things. But we're really close to being ready to be able to share it. The goal. Now, the one thing we do want to do at some point is to get it to where when you're typing in a function, that it will know what parameter you're in and offer up to let you know which one you're in, because that is something Studio had, something VS Code and Cursor has, and it's a game changer. So it's just really complicated. It's why Site doesn't have it. It's one of the reasons why. But we're gonna work on that. But yeah, I'm very proud. Irfan's put in at least 100 hours, I'd say, on this, and this is also why we're going to sell it, right? Because it takes a lot of time to develop this stuff. So these are things with the editor where we can assign our hotkeys and change stuff. We also, actually, I don't think I have that in my version. Let me see if I can open Irfan's version again, because I don't think, let me try mine real quick. No, so see these menus? I don't have it yet, because I'm not using the beta version that Irfan is actually working on. Let me try to launch this. It might still, we'll say no. But here, AHK examples. So here we have snippets. So let's say I hit new, AHK examples. I want to learn about text manipulation, string operations, substring. Oh, was it? Oh, you know what? I don't know if he's actually added stuff to all these yet. There we go. So you'll have examples for people to, and you can, I think, hold on, control and zoom in. So you'll have examples for people to very quickly and easily be able to pull up an example. Oh, I want to do, like I said, I don't know if all these are filled in yet. This is our grouping and what we're figuring. Basic hotkeys. Let's see if that, oh, there we go. So I think that's going to be hugely helpful. This will be in the low cost, the one-time purchase fee for like $4.99. We're going to have a subscription version, which we're going to have a whole nother list of menu items that are our tools that normally we sell, but they're going to be sold as a subscription for this tool. So it will, maybe it's like $5.99 a month or something, right? But we're going to have a bunch of our tools, maybe a little less than that. Yeah, I'm not trying to get rich on it, right? But it's tools that we normally sell. but it'll be tools that also even leverage AI, so it'll be very powerful and tailored to AutoHotkey, right? It's kind of like HK Studio was all tailored to AutoHotkey. All right. FileXpro, so that's one of the files that will be included in our tool preference, script object, recently opened, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Oh, let's see, there's a lot of stuff that Irfing was doing on that. He's a busy guy. He's a very good programmer. He's really getting there. The Google Sheets example, boy, man, I wish we tried sharing this in the Hero Club, and it was still, this is why we don't have a course on APIs. APIs are incredibly helpful, but the OAuth for every API is different, and Google has really ramped up making theirs crazy complicated. And so I asked the guys to look at it. So several of our clients use Google Sheets, and they're interacting with the GUI, and I think all of us know, right? Interacting with GUIs is always problematic and troublesome, so it's not a great thing to be able to do, especially we know with Google Sheets there's an API. So we were trying to solve working with their API. This way we can actually share it with everybody, because once you figure out that OAuth stuff, the rest is so much easier. It's so much easier. It's 90% of the work is dealing with the stupid OAuth. So we've been working on that. Automate my task. This one is still a V1 script. I wish it was V2, but we haven't had time to go back. We were working on a V2 version, and then AI came to be, and we said, look, I thought AI would have already been there where we can really, hey, go click this, and it would do it. That hasn't come to fruition yet. It's getting there, but maybe we should still spend a little more time converting our Automate My Task to V2. The thing is, we're building it like a wizard, so you have steps and makes it easier to use and to understand. And we're building different things like, hey, what if I want to do an image search versus what if there's controls I can click? Or sending actual just mouse clicks, right? So we'll have different approaches depending on how you're trying to achieve it. This compare sets, I updated this script because I was using it to look at compare different lists, and I realized, boy, that's weird. I don't know why it went off the screen, and now it's problematic to move. Oh, my DPI is different. Okay, let me see if I can throw it over here. There we go. Shrink it down a little. Yeah, with my DPI at that size, it made it a little hard to see. It went off the screen. I'm just condensing it down. There we go. So you can compare lists, but what I didn't have was a way to name it. So it starts off with list A, but this, let's say this is past customers, and this is current customers. And pretend in here there were names of people, and I can hit run, and it shows me here's A not in B, so this is the past customers not in this one, this is B not in A, and this is in both. If I hit the hotkey, Control-Shift-A, at the top of this, you copy past customers. See how it's taking this right here and putting it the header row? So this way I can remember, because sometimes I would put a list in here and they look identical, but I can't remember which one I put where, right? So now, or if I hit Control-Shift-B, you copy current customers, right? So this is this list. Maybe we should uppercase that, uppercase this. I think that'd probably be a good idea to always uppercase that to remind, and maybe put some asterisks before and after to remind you it's a header row. I think the asterisk is even better. Just put some asterisks. We'll concatenate and asterisks on both sides. And of course, Control-Shift-C says, hey, past customers and current customers. So, but we have a header row. And notice if I take a bunch from here and put them down here, and we run it, things will change. Now only one is there, here, there, and here. There's a bunch in both, right? So when you have 1,000 items, this tool's really helpful for very quickly comparing what's in one and not the other. Now, it doesn't work with multiple columns, because that obviously gets really complicated, but it's a very simple script that when you have a list of things you're trying to compare, like email addresses is how I use it often. It's very handy, and you can turn on, trim white space, or make it case sensitive. I don't remember if my examples here have anything. Yeah, it looks like that shifted a little bit. It's because we have a 7 lowercase and a 7 uppercase, so now that they're actually, those are two different things, but we turned that off, and now it's not two different things. So, context menu trigger, I was working on this one. We'll cover that later. Irfing had a verb. It works with verbs, is what they're called, from your Explorer window. And there are actions on extensions that you can take. And so the example Irfan had was, it's really cool, but it really made it hard to understand. And mine was going the opposite direction. I'm not saying either one's great, but we're going to combine the two and have a better approach. MP3 Ripper. I don't remember what changed. Oh, I think we changed these so it would use a list. Let's see if it's here, of the audio or video files. Before, we just had the list of extensions, but we didn't name them. And somewhere in here, media file extensions. Here we go. So now, move this down. We have a list of supported extensions for FFmpeg, but here are like the video extensions and here are the audio extensions, because before we just had them all mixed together. It was very confusing. So now, if I want to say, hey, I'm building a new tool with FFmpeg. What are my all my extensions I can do supported? That's them. What if I just want the video ones, or what if I want? Now we could have built this list a little differently and had made them like key value pairs nested and said, we could add another dimension and had one list, but having them separate is just really easy. We can come in and just copy them. We don't have to actually manipulate the object. But that's why we made a change to that one. Video sandwicher, that was where we're also using that one because it merges files together. Mono to both. This was a weird one. Let me run it just so you in Zoom, when I'm recording in Zoom and I bring it into DaVinci Resolve, it only puts the audio on one side. And I think it's to save space. But our tool now, this tool, very quickly, I can take that Zoom video, drop it in here, and it just instantly puts the audio on both sides for you. So that way you don't have to do any manipulation in DaVinci Resolve, which is a little bit of a pain. Last press hotkey action. Boy, this one we're still not quite done yet, but I wanted to have an easy way to build hotkeys for long pressing them, with including modifiers and stuff, and have a standard approach, which anybody can use it. It's far more complicated than we anticipated. My media player, I made a minor tweak to my MP3 player. It's running. Just started music. I'm going to get a flag on this video now. It's on my system tray. Here we go. So here, look, now it shouldn't be running twice. That's interesting. I'm sure there's a single instance force in it. Here are the options I have, and I don't think I had the open folder. Oh, and I moved the exit to the bottom. That was part of it. Is the exit was up here, and it was always hard to find. Or I can just hit Control-Shift-Escape. That should just exit one of them. Control-Shift-Escape. So it exited one of them. Now the other one is there. And notice it says stop. That's because it's paused. If it was normally playing, it would have the guitar playing. But I can jump around. I can actually increase the volume and decrease of just the media player. So it's really cool because I can have the guys on Zoom and I can play this and I can turn down my audio from the media player, but not my overall stereo. So I can listen to them but still have music playing. I can also delete tracks, which is sometimes you're like, I never want to hear that song again. So I have the ability here, Control-Shift-Delete, to actually delete a file, which is cool. And I can suspend and stuff. So, and hey, here's a video on it. So anyway, that's a really cool little script we got. Newsletter, yeah, I'm not going to open that. We're doing stuff for the newsletter. This one, let me see if Irfan finished it. So let me view the current settings. This tells me what's enabled, disabled. I can view. Over here, this will open the actual. This is where the settings are, and you can make choices. However, our tool, set for best performance, will go and give you basically like what I have, right? Which, if you have an older computer, this will help it seem a little more snappy and allow you to back up your previous settings as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are, you can, if you want to take a screenshot and mirror this and give it a try. First, take a screenshot of what yours is and save it, right? And then consider turning these off. But I'll tell you what. Smooth. Do not turn this one off. The smooth edges on screen fonts, because boy, that font is horrible. Do it for fun, because it's horrible. And I'm telling you, you'll go, wow. Like, yeah, I gotta have that one on. The rest of them, boy, they're really kind of optional, and it's a great way to speed up if you don't care, I like having more like a Windows XP kind of environment, a simple, basic thing. I don't want all frou-frou stuff. I want my CPU to be using stuff for important things, right? This script will go get your Windows serial number, so you could use that in like some sort of a licensing if you wanted to or something. Telegram bot schedule. We noticed the reminder to the hero calls went off an hour early this week. That was because the time had changed last week, and Irfan had inadvertently flipped the time thing on whether we were on or off of daylight savings time. So hopefully that now will auto update properly. I say we're not. I don't think this is done yet. Let me run it. Yeah, it's not quite done yet. But he's working on it where we can have, press F1 to toggle, Alt F2 for, I think he's making a whole different version of this for options, Alt F2. I don't know if that even works. Oh, yeah, I can change the color. Yeah, whatever. F1, FF, Control J. Oh, wow, that's quick. Well, that's, we gotta fix that. It's triggering off the last key. It's an on-screen display, so you can see what was pressed. But it was disappearing when I would do a combination. It was disappearing and making it really annoying. All right, so verb lookup. I think this is the version that I had done. And you give it a path to extension. Let me look. Actually, we can just look at the code over here, I think. You give it a path to an extension. Oh, well, here I'm giving a path to an exe because it's, I thought it was tied to an extension. My target file, no, I'm giving a path to an exe, and then it's talking about the verbs of that exe. So you can give it a path to an extension. The extension looks up what exe is associated to, I guess. So I was just going from the exe and seeing what can be done. So all these things for Notepad, I can programmatically trigger. So instead of sending clicks and stuff, I can use an API approach, and this would give me syntax to actually run it. So to do these verb things, the verbs are things that you can put in there. So if you read the AutoHotkey documentation somewhere, it talks about verbs, and I'm like, what is that? And so that's what we were working on. This is going to be combined with our fans approach, which is his is much more sophisticated, but it gives you code that you can run and do what you want. This one, it changes the number of videos that were shown in the last, let me just, well, I can't do that because it has our hero calls, the IDs in them. Let me pause and take a look. Okay, good. I thought the URLs were visible right from here, but they're not. You have to mouse over them and stuff. So this list, when it starts off, every time I go to this page, I have a URL that pulls up the unlisted videos, and it always starts with 30, but I want to change it to 50 because we have so many unlisted videos that I have to go at least to the next one, and then I even have to hit next here. And so I really didn't like having to change the drop-down and then have to also click. So that script is supposed to change this thing down here from 30 to 50. However, this is why you don't use UIA with browser automation, is this apparently keeps changing. And so Irfan was looking for a way to have an anchor to get it closer to it, so even if they make changes to the web page, it doesn't change. But I tried running it this morning, and then again it changed again. And this is why we don't encourage using UIA. Maybe we can do it with JavaScript on the page, so that would get shoved into the URL up here and trigger that change, which would be more robust. Connecting to the DOM is usually the way you want to automate a browser, but unfortunately, unless I could launch IE, which I don't think I can, and I don't think this page supports it, that is complicated, but I also might be able to automate it with the auto control extension. And so that's another good solid approach that I might take to do that. Here's a Zoom call notifier. This is one I think for our hero members run. And it is a downloadable script that you can get that you can, if you want to have a reminder, it allows you to put in the things that you want to have times on, if I remember correctly. So that's what we've been up to. Not a ton of client work this week, and we actually focused on getting some stuff done. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Please like the video if you learned something here. It really helps us out. And have a great weekend. Take care. Cheers.